Hello. It is good to be back. We are on a new quadrant, I guess, of movies.
Yes.
Apologies about the 3 minutes of missing audio for Sleepaway Camp. My bad. I was clipping some of the stuff for social media, and I forgot to add back that first little bit. So, my bad. Also, we have new music. Yay! Yes, my buddy Dennis, he came up with some new music for us, and it's way better. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
also, it won't get copyright strike.
Yes, we will not get copyright.
We need to re-upload K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah, we will.
To Spotify.
Yes. Also, I'm Jared.
I'm Kayleigh.
And today, we are being white and uncomfortable.
We all know you've been requesting two white people to talk about Get Out.
Yes.
That's what the world needs to hear.
Yeah, because exactly. What the world needs to hear is two other white people to talk about the experiences of a black character.
And this was Jared's idea.
Yes, because Him is coming out.
It is.
And I'm really interested to see what Him is about.
Yeah, I'll let you know if it's good. We're going to go see it.
Okay.
When it comes out.
We might try to go with you. I don't know. Alina's not super excited about it.
Yeah, it's fine if I don't even, yeah.
Yeah. If I might just go at some point on my own. But yeah, so this the alternate title that I came up with was The Whites Must Be Crazy. That's what I came up with. But in like a different way.
White women will get you.
White women will get you every time.
I know they say that in the movie.
I have a long history with Jordan Peele. Like, I've been watching him since, like, Key and Peele was coming out.
Yeah.
Like, he is one of the funniest people, I think, on the planet. Like, he and Key are so good. Like, all of their skits that I remember are so good. Like,
they've made their way to TikTok now, and so occasionally I'll just see a Key and Peele skit on TikTok, and it's so great because everyone in the comments is like, "There's always one you haven't seen," and I was like, "Y'all didn't watch this show?"
Yeah,
it's like y'all haven't seen.
There are, I mean, truly, like, they're one of the best ones, and like this is, I will stand on business. This is the one that I think is the funniest one ever. It is. I was watching the show like live, right? And this is around the same time Ancestry.com was happening, right? And so after this one, it becomes an Ancestry.com commercial, and it looks real, right? But then what happens is every time there's like a black person, a black speaker on the screen, they go, "Turns out I'm related to Thomas Jefferson." And like every time another black person is on the screen, they say Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so funny because they're like, yeah, it turns out I'm related to, like, all the white people are like, turns out I'm related to Napoleon, or like I'm related to Elias Booth, like John Wilkes, or so on. And then they're like, every time it's like Thomas Jefferson, which is true. And many years later, I was taking some of my students to DC. I went with them like last year, and it was me and my coworker, and she's also black, and then it was like six girls in my school who were also black, and they were like, "Do you guys want to take a picture in front of Thomas Jefferson's memorial?" And I said, "No."
And you don't either.
I was like, and they went, "Mr. Rhodes, why?" And I was like, "I want you to think about what you know about Thomas Jefferson for a real quick second." And she went, "You right, Mr. Rhodes, you right." I was like, I'm beating those allegations right now.
Right.
We're not doing that.
No.
So, I have a lot of feelings about, like, I've seen this movie a lot. Like,
it's so good.
How many times have you seen this?
A handful? I know I've watched it a couple. I own it on DVD.
Yeah. This is one of those movies that, like, it is better when you know the twist.
Right.
You know?
But it's also, it's a fun movie, but it's not one of his movies that I would put in like Us or Nope.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's good, but it's also, like, heavy. I mean.
But also, like, in the sense of, like, this is, you could tell, like, he has a vision.
And he executes it from wonderfully.
And I would argue that this is the start. of the auteur horror directors, you know?
Yeah.
You got your Zach Kragers, your Ari Asters, your Jordan Peeles now, and and you got your Robert Eggers and stuff like that. This is where it all began. Like, this is where we were, like, on the good timeline in terms of great horror movies, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But, like, you know, we still have, like, you know, another Conjuring movie coming out still. But, like, I mean, who knows how good that's going to be.
Not good.
You know? But, like, Get Out, Us, and Nope are, like, just going to be just, like, a gold standard trio of movies for someone who, like, really knew what they were doing from the jump. You know? And I think we really should just we shouldn't even worry about spoilers, because at this point everybody knows the twist, I think. So essentially the main point of this story is that it's about this guy named Chris, and he's a photographer, and he's really good at what he does, and he's dating dun 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 a white girl,
Rose,
like, which is, you know, just
the aunt from Megan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is the aunt from Megan.
It is, because we were watching Megan, and Adelaide's like, oh, she just is good at playing assholes, and I was like, yeah. Yeah.
She also was Kit Snicket in the Series of Unfortunate Events TV show, and she's also in Girls. She's like a lot of affable white people in this. Like, you got Catherine Keener, you got Bradley something. I can't remember.
I want to say, my thought was Bradley Cooper. It's not Bradley Cooper.
It's the guy that was in The West Wing.
Yeah, he's great. I really like him as an actor.
And they choose it. They choose, like, it all. They all, whoever did the casting of this is really, really smart. Yeah. They pick some, like, really friendly, liberal looking white people, you know? Because at first you think that, like, oh, this is going to be one of those stories that, like, he's going to go and they're going to be like, get out of here. You know, like, they're going to be like, they're going to, like, run him off with a shotgun and a pitchfach, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not the case, you know? Because that's not what Jordan Peele's experience has been.
No.
As a, you know, as a black person in America, is that he's in a lot of liberal spaces, and they do this weird thing where they try to, like, include him.
Implicit racism versus explicit.
Exactly.
So in the South, there's a lot more explicit.
Right.
And less so in liberal spaces, but it's still there.
Which is odd to me because, you know, like, growing up in the South, like we both have, you get told all the time that we have this thing called Southern hospitality. Mm-hmm. But it's like, with an asterisk, you know? It's like Southern hospitality if you're white, you know? Like, so it's like, it's different, you know?
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, like, and so whenever I saw this movie for the first time, I went with one of my best friends, Topher, and I went with this other guy. We will not, because we're not friends anymore, I will not say his name. Mm-hmm. But if he hears this somehow, he will know it's him. But, like,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. But it was me. And we went all the way here. We went to this exact theater that we went to go see The Long Walk with last night.
Crazy.
And we got in there, and it was almost completely, like, 98% black people.
Yeah.
And me and my friend. And Topher. When the movie ended, you know, on the way out, very loudly, I said, all right, everybody, let's watch out out here. The white people could be anywhere. And the whole theater just erupted with laughter.
Oh my God.
They thought that was the funniest thing ever. They were like, yeah, we got to look out for you. You know, like, they were really enjoying the joke. My friend was livid when I made that joke. He was livid. Topher thought it was the funniest thing ever. So we were driving back, right? And we were having a conversation about it. And my friend just goes, I don't think white people really do that. And I was like...
He would say that.
And I went, yeah, they do, man. And he went, no, they don't. And we started like, no, they don't. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And I went, stop.
You're doing it right now.
I was like, stop. Let's ask the actual black person in the car if white people actually do this. And I just turned to Topher and I said... You want to like clue us in, buddy? And he went, and he just kind of like sighs real deeply, and he goes, do you know how many times people have asked me if I play basketball? And I was like, how many? He's like, too many. And I was like, have you ever played basketball? He's like, no. Like, so like there, that proves me right. Is that like that implicit racism is like you're like trying to like be like, I understand you because of this very small thing that I know. You know?
And a lot of white women love to do that, where there you go. I know what it's like to experience sexism, so I know what it's like to experience racism.
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
That's like totally different.
No, and like learning about it, I mean, I watched this movie. It was just with some friends. We pirated it. It was after it was out in theaters, but we didn't want to rent it, so we just pirated it, you know?
Yeah.
How you do. But especially like during like, I know 2020, I was reading like How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. Just like learning all this stuff. And you're like, even now I'll be like, that was a bit of, you know, white coming out in me. And you always have to reevaluate and introspect and go,
right, how
can you change it? And I think this movie held up a mirror to a lot of people. And, you know, a lot of people were like, what? I didn't know. And you're like, yeah.
And if you're not like a person that like does that, this movie's very funny, you know? But if you are, you're like,
well, even like with the Rose character, I think I was watching it this time, and especially like now, like having a black partner, where it was like, for a lot of people, it's such a shock when she like turned out to actually be bad. But like watching it, and it's not. I mean, like she, you know, downplays some stuff. She, you know, goes, well, what did they say? You know, it really gaslights him.
It's these microaggressions.
And and she doesn't take his worries seriously, so he downplays it. Where I was watching it, and I was like, I hope I would never do that. You know, I try not to.
And she plays on like his trauma. Like the thing that like the reason that like he hasn't just like turned on his heels and ran out of here is because he doesn't want to abandon his girlfriend.
Right.
You know, just like something that happens later, right?
Because she plays on it. And it's really interesting is like we can start like with the plot, but like the first time we see her, she's picking out donuts. And we see her through the grass like we're donuts, and she's just grabbing what she wants. And that's like what she does.
And
it's
she's
like,
eyeballing the chocolate donuts a little too long.
Yeah,
that was like that's like, I mean, because Jordan Peele is the kind of person like everything means something. You know, and like you will see this in Nope, and we'll see this in Us. Is that like everything has like a double meaning, and like the way people die and the way like the things people say, everything has like this like alternate meaning. And we'll get into it. We'll just try to call it out as much as we can.
Yeah. So it opens with Andre Hayworth being taken in an affluent suburb.
Yes, Lakeith Stanfield, so good.
I love him.
He was the first time I saw him. He was in that really shitty Death Note movie. He played L.
I know him from Sorry to Bother You.
Okay, well that's that was one of those like swaths of movies that came out after this movie. Because after this movie, we had Lovecraft Country, we had Watchmen, we had Sorry to Bother You, we had a lot of other not so great movies that like were kind of using the how Jordan Peele does movies. Like there was one where it was like her like this this is true. Like there was one about this woman's weave was like coming to life and killing people, and then another one with like I think it was Kerry Washington, I believe. She was kidnapped and then made to work as a slave.
That's Janelle
Monáe.
Janelle Monáe, and that's Antebellum. I heard that one was bad.
Yeah. My one of my friends who like he really loves like specifically like horror with like black voices because he is black himself. He was like, do not go see that movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like all right, I won't go see it because it looks bad anyway. Yeah, like there was like a huge like uptick in people of color being like the main focus of, and then like Atlanta came out and it's essentially just Twin Peaks but like with rappers. Like essentially that's what Donald Glover said it was. Like, and it's so good. That's another show we need to watch and talk about. that we're definitely not qualified to talk about, but it's okay. It's okay. Our art can be talked about by anybody. The choice of using Run Rabbit Run,
so good,
so scary. That is the brother, by the way. I thought it was the black the black guy that was working, Walter. Yes, I thought that was him. No, it was actually Jordan. Which I thought was crazy. Lakeith Stanfield reaction to like seeing like the car turn around. He was like, nope.
No, because it's creepy.
He's like, I ain't getting caught like this.
No, because
yeah, and because later it was funny because they said that you're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Because like
at least you got to sleep with her.
Yeah. Allison Williams is like the honeypot, is that
honey trapping.
Yeah, it's
what it's called.
Ugh, it's horrible.
The Children of God cult do it.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They have this biblical prostitution, and they have these like comic books that they give kids about this this woman that goes and sleeps with men to bring them into the fold for God.
Is that happening now?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I know it's still happening. I just don't. There's so many other like things going on in the world that I'm like, I just forget that cults still exist sometimes.
Yeah, no, they're really bad.
Yeah,
because the FLDS is still doing child marriages now.
Yeah, because like in the 60s it was serial killers, and in like the 70s it was like cults, and then like the 80s it was like satanic panic, and in the 90s it was like Y2K. Like there's always something that like is like at the forefront of everybody's thoughts.
Yeah.
And right now it's like
mass shooters
and race, and these like racial motivated killings, and like because like that's how it's been for almost like 15 years at this point, that like we've been kind of had a mirror, like this movie's doing a mirror up to us, and like it's like a Rorschach test of how do you feel now that these police officers that we're told to laud all of our lives, like keep getting in situations where they're murdering people regardless of if they're doing something illegal or not,
Yeah. And then people justifying it by being like, well, 2 years ago, they actually got a speeding ticket. So, he wasn't exactly innocent.
Yeah. And it's just you don't think about, like, for me, like I've done some like weird stuff, and like when I was driving and like cops would pull me to the side and go, oh, never mind, and then leave. That's happened to me before.
That's never happened to me.
Yeah, it's because like one time I would like it was like when I was like 16, 17, and I accidentally like flipped my brights on because I like fumbled doing the turn signal, and then the cop followed me into my work because I was working at a pizza joint, and then the cop got out of the car, and then like I didn't even realize the cop was behind me, because I was like, I got to get back to work, and then the cop was like, oh, sorry, are you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Why? He was, you flashed your lights, so it's okay, whatever. And like he looked upset at first, and then when he saw me, he was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And then my boss, who was a Cuban guy, his name was Jose. He's like, "What happened? Did you get like pulled over or something?" I said, "No. I flashed my lights," and he said, and then another guy who was he was a black guy. I can't remember his name at this point. He was like, "Man, it would have probably shot me if I would have flashed my lights on accident." And I never understood what he meant by that until like way, way later, because it just wasn't my experience, And now that like I, work at a school where it's like 80, 85, 90%, black children, like it's like, I have a stake in this now. Like, I don't want to like ever like wake up one day and like see that one of my students has like been killed, over some like crazy stuff. And so I've had talks with some of my students who are like, have like a lot of anger and a lot of like stuff. And I'm like, dude, you can't do this. You can't do this in real life. And they were like, they're like, why not? Will they arrest me? I was like, no.
They'll kill you.
They'll just kill you, man. And I was like, And I was like, so you can't do that. I don't want to wake up in a world where you're dead, you know?
Yeah, Trayvon Martin was walking home with tea and Skittles.
Yeah. And like,
and then they paid George Zimmerman $250,000 for the gun he killed him with and had him signing iced tea and Skittles.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just we want to clutch our pearls so badly when
about
it's like
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, when people like Charlie Kirk, but then like we're okay with like, you know, these black men and black women, you know?
Yeah.
Because like there was that one lady, I can't remember her name.
Breonna Taylor. She was just sleeping.
She was sleeping.
They were like, oh, well, she shouldn't have been involved in this. And she wasn't. They went to the wrong house.
Yeah.
She was just sleeping and they went to the wrong house. Mm-hmm. And it pisses me off because people are like, why aren't you, you know, how dare you celebrate about Charlie Kirk? Or like, we don't get the jokes. And it's like, do you remember when like doing like the Trayvon Martin was a trend where it was like a bunch of white boys like lying? Trayvon was a trend.
Yeah.
And they go, but we would never, how dare you laugh about it? And I'm like,
yeah, it's a double standard.
It's 100%. And I remember during like BLM, you know, angry about everything that was going on. My dad was like, why are you so mad? We're so worried about all this anger in your heart. And I just like started crying and I was like, they're killing people.
Yeah.
And he just kind of like had to stop talking because I was like, what are you, how am I not supposed to be mad? They're killing people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was
How
saying.
dare you lecture me about being upset about this?
That's what I was like telling my dad. He's like, well, you have to like, cause my dad's like he believes 100% in respecting authority because he's been in the army for like so many years. He's like, you got to respect what this. I'm like, yeah, but like,
I don't have to respect murderers.
Yeah, I was like, but Dad, at the same time, like, if you could just kill somebody because you think that they are doing something wrong, there is no such thing as innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah,
you know, there is no such thing. And I can't take credit for this because somebody said it, and I've just said it all these years now, is that the whole thing between like Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter is it'd be like going to the doctor and saying you're like, doctor, my leg is broken, and then they go, but what about the rest of your bones? The rest of your bones matter. Like, yeah, but my fucking leg is broken. It's hurting, and something needs to be fixed.
Yeah,
you know. And so that's the idea, is that like it's not that Black Lives matter more. It's that just Black Lives Matter, you know?
Yeah. We don't live in a society where that's true.
No, we don't.
And so you need to say it to make it true. Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's just the case of it. And if that were true, like, I mean, honestly, Jordan Peele probably wouldn't have written this, you know? Like, he wouldn't have written this with this kind of stuff in mind. And he wrote this after Obama was elected. And because a lot of people were saying, oh,
I would have voted for Obama for a third term.
And racism is over.
It is.
Racism is over because we have a black president now.
Yeah, and it ended.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know? And everything. So we go in and then we see Chris. It's played by Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh, he's amazing.
Amazing.
He's amazing in everything.
First time I ever saw him, he was in Black Mirror.
Yeah.
He was in the 1 million credits.
Oh, he was so good.
Yeah, that was really good. And they're really like going upwards and far and beyond that. Like, you are trusting Allison Williams. Everything she's doing, everything Rose is doing, you just trust her. You know, you're kind of like, at first you're like, like, because she's like, oh yeah, do they know I'm black? He's like, no, because it doesn't matter. You know,
right?
It's like, but it does.
It does. And so I think, now watching this movie, because like, she's like, why would I tell them? I was like, when I first watched it, I was like, yeah, why would you? But now I was like, no, yeah. Yeah. You know, like my partner's like, they know and they're fine with it. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. I was like, you know, but it was a big word in a conversation. Mm-hmm. And it was, you know, we had a conversation where I was like, I'm going to pick you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's kind of what my family said to me. My mom, she was like, yeah, she's like, people in the family have issue with it. Well, we'll pick you over them any day, you know? But good. Like, it's still like, I'm still consciously aware of it. And I'm like, there'll be some people where I was like, yeah, no, this is her vibe. She's like, and they're like, no, yeah, no, I know. I can pick up on that vibe. And I was like, I know you can pick up on it. I'm just wanted to give you a warning. Right. And ahead of time.
I told my parents, I said, it's just how the dice landed. that I'm with a white woman right now. I said, because I don't care. I was like, I fall for people based on like personality, you know, and like who they are as people. And I've actually dated, went on a few dates with a black woman before, and she had a son, and he was like 4 or 5 at the time. And she asked me this question. She was like, "What? How are you gonna like, raise my son in a world that you don't have the same experiences as him whenever he grows up?"
Yeah.
And I just told her, I said, "I don't really know." And I said, "If that's something that you think is important, then maybe we shouldn't date. Then maybe we should just stay friends." And she was like, and she thought about it, and she was like, I think you're absolutely right, you know." And I was like, and I'm not saying that like mixed races, like mixed race couples can't work. I'm just saying like in that situation, that was her, her
priority was her son.
Her priority was her son, and
respectful.
that makes perfect sense to me. And I was like, no love lost, no.
Yeah.
Like I was like, we're still cool. Like I was like, you got to take care of your boy, you know. And I was like, and I was like, that's more important than anything else. And but yeah, that always kind of put it in perspective for me. I was like, and because Topher's got biracial children as well, and I ask him questions about it all the time. I'm like, what's that like? Like, what is it? I was like, especially because like the person that he's with, her family's not exactly the most understanding. Her mom and dad are, but you know, but yeah, it's just one of those things that you have to like walk an interesting line, you know. And but yeah, it's just I've made peace with the fact that I'll never be able to like fully understand someone else's experience, because my experience is very different than everybody else's experience. That doesn't mean that like I'm gonna be like, well, there's nothing I can do to change it, you know. Is that all I can do is just, as in my place of privilege, is I have to go, what can I do to prepare them, especially now that I'm a teacher, you know, is that I have to be like, what can I do to help them with this anger? What can I do to help them with their big mouth that they have? It's just like, what can I do to teach them that like there's a time and place for it, you know? Yeah, this is such a hotbed of like all kinds of things that you can talk about when it comes to this movie, and you could just pull from you can go so many different routes. So gotta make sure we're actually talking about the movie.
Yeah, pull up the plot.
And I like that she says, it's not like my dad's gonna be running out after you with a shotgun, and she's the one that ends up
running out with a shotgun.
Yeah, which is crazy. And Little Ray Howery, who plays Rod
Williams, TSA.
Rod Williams, TSA, the best character in this movie. He is funny. And he said the next 9/11 is going to be on some geriatric shit. He said, how am I going to get in trouble for patting an old lady down?
It's protocol.
And the reason that they have such... Like, Jordan Peele really loves the TSA. Like, he thinks that, like, what they're doing is, like, a really good and important thing. And there's also a bunch of skits about the TSA.
Yeah.
That, like, Kayleigh and Peele have done. And, like, they're all so funny. And once again, like, everything Rod says is, like, true.
It's true and it's funny.
It's true, and it's, like, it makes him a lot funnier. It's just, like, you should have listened to Rod. And I like that... The thing that like set me off was he went, "Was she licking your balls or something?" Like, like, don't you go in that house?
Hey.
And he's like, "All right, I gotta
go." Yeah.
And so they're driving.
This is where we learn that Chris smokes.
Yeah, and she's like, nasty
like,
habit.
Don't smoke.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to hurt the merchandise.
Right.
You know, and they hit a deer.
Yeah, they hit a young buck.
And
which is very powerful play. Yeah. The
sound that the deer's making, that's Jordan Peele.
Oh.
Just going.
I heard that sound and I went, oh my God. It's so sad. I was like, poor baby deer.
And he seems really entranced.
Yeah. He like walks up to it and like looks at it. laying there in pain and then walks back to the car.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, it's kind of sad, but you're like, what is going on here?
Dead animals in the road are like a thing. Like the kangaroo in Talk to Me.
Oh.
Like how people react to that is like tells you a lot about the character and the fact that he like kind of just he walked away but went to check on it and like obviously had an emotional reaction.
Yeah.
And then with that cop there.
The cop, and then he's like, can I see your ID, sir? She's like, no. And I went, yeah, protecting your man. I was like, wait a second. She's trying to keep a paper trail away.
Yeah, that's what she's doing.
Yeah.
But the fact that Chris was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, where I was like, part of me was like, yeah, don't let him bully you, but also like, she could have made that infinitely worse for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to think about that. But have you seen Penny Dreadful, by the way?
No.
Okay, well, there is a character, and his name is Sam Bene, and he works for, like, Timothy Dalton's character, and he goes, every time he, like, introduces him, he goes, this is my man, Sam Bene, and it just reminded me of how she keeps saying, my man.
Yeah.
And also, like, Dean says my man when he meets him, and she's like, what's this my man?
My man.
Yeah, like, what's that all going about? And then the way Dean is talking about deer, he's like, I hate him, I want them all dead, you know?
He's like, yep.
Like, that's not, you're not talking about deer. Also, I did do some research, I was like, that's gotta be something, and the phrase black buck was actually a racist term.
Yes.
In the Reconstruction era.
Right.
Because it's like somebody who like doesn't want to follow the Jim Crow laws. And I was like, dang, that's so smart. I love that. And you can tell as soon as he gets to the house, alarm bells are going off.
Because Walter's in the front. Yeah.
They're like, something's weird. Like something is off. And everything Dean says, there's like an alternate, you know, there's black mold in the basement.
So we don't go down there.
Don't go down there. Here's my grandfather. Here's my father.
He almost got over it.
Yeah, he almost got over it when he beating Jesse Owens.
No, Jesse Owens beat him.
Not beating Jesse
and he's
Owens.
like,
we keep a piece of grandma in the kitchen.
And Georgina's in the kitchen. It's brilliant foreshadowing.
Yeah. And I said, I just wrote down, when you try to be so inclusive, you exclude people. Like, that's just what I wrote. And then they went, we're not judging you about smoking, but that's a nasty habit and you should stop.
Yeah.
Like, no, I can't. Like, and then she goes, you could have Missy hypnotize you here.
No.
What the hell? Nobody is hypnotizing me.
Some crazy woman in your brain.
Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, and that's when Georgina like overspills the tea.
Yeah, cause like I guess like she's been in there so long that maybe like the actual person that Georgina is like inhabiting, maybe she kind of like comes up a little bit.
She does, and I think she fights a lot.
Yeah.
And definitely, I think the hypnotism thing is she was probably definitely fighting her body, trying to be like, you know,
get out of here.
That's why that actress is so good. She's so creepy.
Yeah.
In this movie, which is like good, but you're just like, what the fuck?
And then they're like, and then oh, by the way, this little dinner of like all these other white people.
We're here. I'm so glad you came for the event. And
they're like, what?
I was like, oh, that's this weekend.
Yeah, they're gonna be bocce ball, badminton. I'm like, man, those are the whitest sports.
Those are the whitest.
The whitest sports you know.
That being said, I do love a game of badminton.
Badminton is fun. I have gotten into fights over badminton when I was a kid. And then Caleb Landry-Drone just plays, what is his name? The brother?
You said Jordan, but I think it's Peter.
It might be Peter. Hold on, let me see. Jeremy.
Yeah.
We're both wrong.
We just picked a random white name.
Random white guy name. He's good. He's really good in this.
He's so good, but he is so aggro.
Yeah. He's like, if you came out and pushed your body, really worked out, you'd be a beast. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Talking about MMA and all the fighting, and you're just like...
Yeah. You're black. You probably like MMA. You're like, no. He's like, too violent for me. Like,
which is
and so you could tell that like Chris, for whatever reason, has some really good survival skills because you could tell he's like freaked out the entire time. Mm-hmm. But like
he's also de-escalating the entire time.
Yeah, which is
because
you're alone here,
and white people are doing and saying crazy shit, and like he can't call. I mean, he could, but calling him out would give him the the angry black person stereotype, and he would be the aggressor when you're like, no, you were saying some stuff. Because later when he was talking to her about Walter, he's like, I don't think he likes me. I think he's really aggressive. And she's like, well, what did he say? And he's like, well, it's not what he said, it's how he said it.
Yeah.
And then she immediately goes, oh, do you think he likes, where he's like, maybe he has a crush on you. And she's like, oh, you think I have a chance? And like plays it off. But like, that's a thing that like white people love to do. Especially, I know a lot of Southern white people love to do is like, they'll say something and I'm like, they're like, I didn't say anything wrong. And I'm like, not technically, but you know what you did. And you said it in a way that I can't call you out for without sounding crazy.
Right. Yeah. And then you have like people like Jeremy, who's like, that's Caleb Landry Jones, by the way. He plays Banshee in X-Men First Class.
Okay.
He's great. Love him. And he's just saying like all this just wild stuff. He's like, your genetic makeup. And I was like, your genetic makeup? Like, why are you saying these things? And then once again, Rose is like, he never says anything like that with my other boyfriends. Nah.
Right.
Just playing that like, I'm innocent.
I don't know what's going on. Why are they saying that? Very much like liberal daughter with conservative family.
Yeah, for sure. And but also him really talking about jujitsu, like he's like, you got to be 3 steps ahead. That sets up how he like stops Jeremy at the end.
Yeah,
and we'll get at that. We'll get to that later. And then also Missy was not about to let Jeremy rough up the merchandise once again.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, it's so weird. And then Alina was watching with me, and she's like, yeah, Rose pointing out all the weird shit that they're doing puts us on her side. Like, makes it feels like we're on Chris's side.
Yeah, where if she was like, what? I don't get what they did,
Yeah, they're not doing anything.
She's being faux outraged to set herself apart, and then they have sex, which is like in your parents' house.
Oh yeah, weird.
No, I couldn't.
Couldn't do that. I also forgot about that quick Georgina jump scare. Like that. And you're like, ah! I was like, what the heck is that? And nothing to me is scarier in this movie, aside from like the third act reveal and stuff, of like just some dude just running straight at you in the darkness.
And then turning.
You know what that is? That's a reference to?
No.
It's a reference to one of the very first films ever created. It was called North by Northwest. And it was literally just
You mean the Hitchcock film?
Yeah. No. I'm talking about well, maybe. But also it's a reference to the very first film ever made, where it's like just a train coming at the screen, and people were so like innocent and had never seen anything like that they jumped out of the way.
I think that's a myth.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that's a myth.
That's what IMDb said.
I know, okay, yeah. Well, it's a good myth. The same way like people thought War of the Worlds was real. It's not real. I mean, it's a good story.
I'm sure somebody's dumb enough to do it, but
Well, I mean.
Yeah, but but yeah, apparently that's a reference to that, and they also did say North by Northwest, so probably there's a lot of Hitchcockian, because this is all tension,
Right. It builds because he's going out there to smoke and running, and then,
yeah, and then she comes in, and he's talking to Missy, and she's just very casually
with the and then she said the focal point, and you're like, and then she's like, how did your mom die?
Yeah. And
I've been like,
he's like, I'm not gonna talk about this. He's like, and then he starts opening up because he's under suggestion, and apparently his mom was
killed in a hit and run.
Yeah, and then he just sat there.
He was a kid, so he was watching TV, and he didn't call. Which I mean, he was a kid.
Yeah, there was no way, and then so like he feels very responsible for that, and then she's like, got him, and he's like, I can't move. He's like, now sink into the floor.
And then you get to the sunken place. That
such a good visual. And it's what it is. It's the silencing of black voices. Mm-hmm. That's what Jordan Peele said. He's like, it is oppression itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a smart idea. It's so brilliant. And then he just wakes up the next day and now he can't smoke.
Yeah.
You
and
know?
he's like, I think your mom hypnotized me. And she's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Let's
That's
stay
so
though.
crazy.
Let's stay for the party though.
Yeah, well, people, they start showing up in
Yeah.
the morning, so they really couldn't leave. And what's interesting is all the cars are black, and it's like white bodies in a black vessel.
Yes, I wrote that down too. That's actually amazing. And then also, I thought it was really funny that like after that horrifying scene with the sunken place, Chris wakes up and he looks at his phone and it's a picture of his dog Sid with a bottle. It said, "Sid got drunk last night."
It's so cute.
That's so funny.
His phone's unplugged.
Yeah, his phone is also unplugged. So like somebody's like unplugging his phone.
Yeah.
And just
The party scene.
Yeah, the tension is so palpable. And like, you know, you're just like,
Oh, and the questions are just, and you like, what, like obviously knowing it, you're like, oh, they're asking for like specs about auctions, but like first time watching it, you're like,
they're just being weird.
They're just being old white people.
Yeah, they're just like, my swing isn't as
I
good
know
as
Tiger.
I know Tiger Woods. Black is in fashion. Like,
and I was just,
and I said, what a weird thing to say, Colonel Sanders. Like, that's such a weird thing to say.
and the woman like grabbing him, and you can see Rose going like, back off, like you're blowing it, you know?
Yeah, and then like he goes upstairs after seeing Andre.
And it's quiet.
And they're just stop. And I'm like, that's so weird. And then seeing Andre, but he's like going by Logan.
What's interesting about that is that they're definitely like, they're trying to get black bodies for whatever goal they want to be a runner because they think their genetic makeup is better. And it's like, if I was me, if I had my white brain but a black body, I'd be unbeatable because black people aren't using it to their advantage, you know?
Yeah, it's so sick.
But they're also still like, they're still treating like the people that like go into this, they're still being treated like worse. Like you see Logan, his wife, who I assume has been his wife for years, she hands him something, she's like, do something with this. Yeah. She throws it, and then he later's like, he's like, chores have been my reprieve. And like the way like the grandparents are like cooking and cleaning, they weren't doing that. Right. I guarantee you, in their white bodies. So even still, like them whole being like, oh, it's really not, you know, it's better, and like we're actually they're still being treated worse. From like what we've seen is they're still being treated like.
That's interesting.
It's the implicit, like it's not like sex slaves or whatever, but like I was watching the way like she treats him, and she's like feeling on him, where it's like, but then she's like, do something with this. Yeah. And I was like, I don't think she would have said that to her husband before. No. This operation is still the implicit of like treating bad.
Yeah. Even though like they have a quote unquote white brain, they still are inherently racist towards them. That's so interesting. I didn't think about that. And also, whenever he's talking to Walter, and he's like, better mind my own business, you know, like he's doing like all that kind of stuff. And I went, he also is doing this thing that you could tell if you already know that Walter's doing this thing where like old people don't know how to stop conversations. Yeah. And like, there was somebody that I'm gonna say it off thing. Last year, like the old one. That I was talking to her, and where we were at like a thing, and she'd be like, "So how do you like teaching?" And I was like, "It's my first year," and she went, "Okay." And then slowly turned away to talk to somebody else. And I was like...
She's also a bitch. She's also just a bad person.
But every old person that I've ever like come into contact with over the age of 70 just does not know how to stop a conversation anymore. They just don't care. They're like middle schoolers. Or like middle schoolers at least know how to start a conversation. Like, because my Meemaw is like that way. She'll never listen to this podcast, so I don't care. She'll sit down and be like, "So are you still talking to this person?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. I've told you already. I don't like that person anymore. I'm not friends with them."
Oh, I forgot.
You know, and she's like, "Oh, silly me. You want to talk about it more though?" Like, you know. I'm like,
she wants the tea. But she can't say, "Give me the new tea."
Yeah. It's because she doesn't know those words. It's, oh man, And then, like, also, a thing that, like, really, like, got my anxiety is when, like, Chris was looking through the camera, and then, like, Dean's talking to a bunch of people, and then he points at Chris, and he goes, come
here.
Come on over here, dude. Like, oh, shut up. Leave me alone. You know?
It's the whole party, and, like, you can see, like, I think what really puts Chris, like, mostly on edge is, like, when he goes up to Logan, and, you know, he's like, I feel so uncomfortable around, like, he's like, I'm so glad to see you here, I feel better. And then his wife comes up and he's like, Chris was just telling me that he was happy to see another black person here. And Chris just looks at him with the utmost betrayal of like, what the fuck?
He's like, oh God. And then like, and then you could see that like whenever they go like to talk to somebody else, like Lakeith Stanfield's showing himself off.
Yeah, he's like turning. He's like, look at this.
Look at the new digs, you know, and stuff like that. And then he goes and finds it's Stephen Root. He the art dealer guy.
Yes.
Jim Hudson.
Yeah.
That's it. He and he's like a really cool guy. And he's like, all those people are losers, you know? He's like none of them have lived a day in their lives, you know?
Right, yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, a cool guy, you know? Like, and I'm like, see, not all of them are like this. And then I like remembered, I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna be the one to get him. And yeah, like every time I see Stephen Root anything, I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good, you know. And then he calls Rod again, and he's like telling him all this stuff. He's like, white people love making sex slaves and shit.
Yes, and he's right. He's like,
it's so true.
He's talking about Jeffrey Dahmer, and I was like, that was Jeffrey Dahmer's literally whole deal, and like the main reason he went after people of color because he knew they wouldn't be missed, especially gay men.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like one of them, it was a little Asian boy, he was probably 15, escaped from the house naked.
Oh,
Two
God.
women found him, called the police, and then Jeffrey Dahmer's like, no, that's my brother. He just got drunk. And the women are like, don't let him go back there. And the police escorted him back to the house.
Yeah. Did you see the Dahmer monster thing? That like
No.
Yeah, I'm not ever gonna watch.
I'm over.
This will never be a American Horror Story.
No.
Like I hate American Horror Story.
Okay.
And like anything that like Ryan Murphy does.
Yeah.
We might watch Glee though, because Glee is funny. But like in like a, oh my God, this was just on a TV show kind of way.
Yeah.
But like, no, nothing that American Horror Story, because it's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah, like also Alina hates Evan Peters. Just hates him.
Okay.
And so like I'll just like be messing around. I'll just be walking around the house and I'll just be like, I'm just gonna take some pictures like that, like because like there's like that's the big line from the movie that's like everybody's, and like that's the meme from that TV show.
Okay.
Is that he's like, I'm just gonna take some pictures like that, like that's exactly how he says it, and Alina hates it.
Aww.
So I'll just like do it randomly. I'm like, I'll take some pictures. But yeah, Evan Peters is so weird, but he's a good actor though.
Yeah.
And I think what's weird is then he confronts Georgina, or like he goes back and his phone's dead again.
Yeah, he talks to Rose and he's like, I think she's unplugging my phone.
And then she goes
like,
and talks
why?
to him. Yeah, why would she do that?
He's like, well, we maybe don't like this together. And she's like, why? She's like, well, some people don't like that, you know? And then
yeah. And then she comes up and he's like, I think maybe like Chris like hurt her feelings, like the lady inside of the woman.
No, I think she just got caught because she's making sure he doesn't have a way to call for help.
Oh, because he's like, cool, because he was like, all these white people make me nervous,
and
then she's like, no.
Well, I think it's that whole thing was the woman inside of her's fighting back. So I don't think she's saying no to Chris. I think she's saying no to her. Because she starts crying and like fighting her facial expressions and goes, no. I think she's trying to keep control.
Okay. The way that I read that is that like, because I've seen like old women like have those kind of breakdowns. Where
and it might be a bit of both.
Yeah. Is that she's like, this piece of shit just said we make us nervous, you know? Like, because like, they make us nervous, you know, like, or something like that.
And it's probably a bit of both, but also I took it she was also talking to the woman she was inhabiting.
Yeah. It's and also like,
and just seeing her like look at herself in the mirror, like, ooh, look at me.
Yeah. And then they go back out and there's like a bunch of people and like want to talk to Chris, and then like the Asian man's like, is being black hard?
Yeah, is being African American more of advantage or disadvantage in the modern world? And Dean's like, tough question. And Chris is like, Logan, what do you think? And he's like, and that's where he says, he was like, for me, for the most part, it's been good.
Being black is awesome.
He's like, but I don't leave the house anymore. And they have like a thing where I was like, oh, y'all are fucking. And he's like, my reprieve has been chores. And I was like,
yeah.
Especially because an older man, I was like, you weren't doing chores.
No.
An older rich man, I was like, you weren't doing chores. Yeah. Why are you doing chores?
I mean, maybe
now?
he does all the chores now because now his back doesn't hurt so bad.
Maybe,
you know?
Where like, I was just like,
this whole thing is just black don't crack. Like that's the message. That's the message that Jordan Peele is giving. Is that he is reinforcing the thing that other people think about black people, that they age really well, you know, and that's the big joke here. And I think that's hilarious.
Okay.
You know, like that, I really do, because like that's what, like whenever we watched it, Topher was like, so this movie's just black don't crack, the horror movie. And
yeah.
I was like, that's the funnious thing you've ever said, Topher. And so he tries to like take a picture of Andre, flash. He's like, get the hell out! Get the hell out of here! And like he freaks out.
I know he's freaking out, but he couldn't have said these white people are crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that like he's probably like, I don't know how to talk anymore because I've been like silenced.
Yeah, he's just doing get out.
You know? And then like she probably like rehypnotizes him again.
She does, because he goes in there and he's like, thank you for having her calm down. And he's like, oh, it was just a seizure. And I was like, that ain't no seizure. That ain't no
damn seizure.
Yeah, because Chris is like, even to Rose was like, that's not a seizure. And she's like, well, my dad's a neurosurgeon. I don't know why you can't. And he's like, because it's not a seizure. Because it wasn't.
It's not a seizure.
Because it's not, you know.
Like I've known people that have had seizures before, and they don't just start spouting out.
Get out, nose bleeding,
like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
And so he's like talking to Rose out.
Yeah, because the dad's like, let's do bingo and sparklers, and she's like, actually, we're gonna go for a walk.
Yeah,
and you're like,
And I was like, who is like? I was like, what is going on? Like they're doing silent bingo. Like that's so weird. And I was like, oh my god. This is a slave auction. With the picture,
exactly. Yeah.
This is a slave auction.
And
Stephen Root gets him.
Yes. Oh, and then because while him and Rose are having this whole conversation, and he's like, "I got to get out of here," and she's like, "Without me?"
And yeah, Rose is constantly disregarding his experience.
She's like, and he's like, "Maybe," and she's like, "But I don't want you to leave me behind." And it's like, girl,
then you're gonna be fine. This is your family.
It's like, then leave. I mean, you know, if she was on the up and up,
yeah.
Like if we were like literally drove down to like my family's house and they were like, I need to leave, I'd have been like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what, you know, I was like, you know, I never want to put them in a situation where they're uncomfortable or.
Yeah. Well, because of my brain, I would be like, what happened? Yeah, I would want to know.
Well, he's been telling her what's been going on the whole time.
Right, yeah. But, like, Alina's the suffer in silence type. So, like, Alina would, like, never say anything until she's like, I have to go now. I'm like, what's happened?
I was like, yeah, you can tell me in the car. Let's go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'll probably do that. We never had a reason where we're like, well, we're going to get out of here. You know, like.
Yeah, but if you did, be like, okay, cool. Tell me in the car. Mm-hmm. Just we'll go.
Yeah, we just went to, like, a birthday party, like, with her family that we were talking about with you earlier.
Yeah.
And we were like, you know, and she's like, yeah. And I'm like, let's go. Let's get out of here. And the Chris, I realized at this point that Chris doesn't want to do to himself or to Rose what he did to his mom. Like, he wants to, like, because he still thinks that a part of him could have, like, helped his mom.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't want to do that to anybody else. The only gripe that I have with this movie is that the cubbyhole scene was not set up as well as I would have liked. It kind of just comes out of nowhere.
Well, he sees that the door is open.
Right, but I would have liked to be like, she's like, if there was just a small, like, what's that? You know?
That's fair.
That's my cubbyhole. Don't worry about that. You know? And then
she's saying like, oh, that hasn't been open in years.
Yeah, hasn't been open in years. Then it's open.
You're like,
Like, oh.
Also, question: why was it open?
Yeah, like.
My theory is that maybe like Georgina like opened it, not like the grandmother, but maybe like the woman, like the actual subconsciously like opened it or something.
Yeah.
Because she's the most powerful.
Yeah,
is like because she's the one that fights back. Like from what we see, we don't really see Walter.
Yeah, and then he's like looking through all the photos.
Yeah, because Rose was like, "You're the first black guy I've dated," and it's just photo.
She's not even the first black person she's dated.
No, but also what's crazy, and I know that's not the point, but like obviously when she got Georgina and Walter, she slept with her grandparents.
Yeah, technically.
Technically speaking.
Disgusting.
Especially, I wonder if they have like memories.
But I mean, like that's the least.
I know, it's just the first thought. I was just like,
And so after that, I was like, Chris, you gotta go.
You gotta get out of here.
You gotta get out of here. You gotta get out of here right now.
And she's like, I gotta get the keys. I was like, don't trust her.
Yeah, and then like, and he's like down there. It's peak suspense. They're all in the room, just like
looking. Yeah.
He's like, Rose, give me the keys. Give me the keys right now. And the thing that like Dean is saying over here, looking at the fire, those are some wild. That's a wild monologue.
Yeah.
Like, we are the gods trapped in cocoons.
Yeah.
What? That's not a normal thing to say.
Because they're rich white people.
Yeah, that's not a normal thing to say, Dean.
They're the best, apparently.
Trying to hit him with a lacrosse stick, the other whitest sport I know.
Yes.
Try to hit him. That's so good. And then
he's like, "Where are the keys?" And she's like, "These keys."
You know I can't.
She's
And she does a little hypnotism thing, falls down, and cuts back to Andre. Apparently, been 2 days since like Chris was supposed to get
Rod?
back. Oh yeah, Rod. Dang. Sorry. So the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Like you heard that on thing. That's Jordan Peele's too.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a.
And they talk about aging. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, it's also like it. Let me look that up. It was the mind is. What the heck? Whatever. It's Jordan Peele. It's like a college fund. Like it's like the. That is the slogan for like this college fund specifically for black students.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, that is Jordan Peele once again going. The mind is a terrible thing to waste, And once again, that is a reference to like what's going on in this movie, and I love the scene where Andre's like going and like telling the cops what's going on, and Alina said like that's an example of what did she say? I can't remember what she said. It's like internal racism.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what it was. And It's so good. He is like the funniest character.
He is, and what he's saying is wild. But under all the wild stuff, if he just said, "Hey, my friend's been missing for 2 days. We can't get in contact with him. Here is his last known location."
Yeah,
it would have been a bit. Instead of he's like, "They're making sex slaves." Yeah. Well, it was funny is where she was like, the visual cop was just like, Then he's like, with his girlfriend, a white woman, and she went, "Continue."
All right.
Because I was like, yeah.
And he's like, I'm TSA, so we have kind of the
same training. If not, maybe we'd be trained better.
We train a little bit better. He's like,
honestly, with some of these cops.
Yeah, it's true. And then he's in like the man cave, like the most like picture a man cave in your brain, and that's what it looks like. There's like wood paneling, ping pong table, a pool table at the back, like there's like little vintage TV, and they literally have an infomercial about the procedure they're going to do to Chris. That's how deep this shit goes.
Yeah, with the grandparents.
Yeah, and like he's like, "Come walk with me for a moment," like some like on some Mr. Rogers type shit, like, and the coagula is a thing in alchemy. Which means dissolve and coagulate. It describes the fundamental principle of transformation, where something must be broken down into its basic components before it can be resembled or built into a new, more refined, more powerful form, or is the coagula. And so that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to, like you said, they're trying to say that these black folks are not using their bodies to the fullest potential that they can. And so with our determination and their genetic makeup, quote unquote, that we can have a utopia or whatever. you know?
Yeah.
And that's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And it, with, like, through, like, racism, like, the way that the thing of, like, black people having better makeup, genetic makeup, you know, there's still, like, nursing textbooks that say, like, black people don't feel as much pain and that their skin is 25% thicker, which is not true.
Yeah.
And that causes, like, black mother mortality at higher rates because they don't trust them, they don't believe them.
Right.
As well as these, like, white people being like, oh, if only I was given, you know, affirmative action. If I had all these handouts, at least I would be so far, because white people don't want to admit that, like, they have the privilege and your life sucks and you're not doing anything because you suck and you don't do anything. You know, it's like, they're like, oh, they want to be faster, stronger, cooler. And I was like, yeah, you can do that.
You can do all those things.
Like, you know, if you just went, oh, if I was black, I'd be like that inherently. And I was like, no, you're inherently a loser.
Yeah. It's the sin of envy is that they're having, is that they just were like, if I had this, if I had that, if I was prettier, if I was cooler, if I was stronger.
Yeah.
But, like, that goes back to, like, everything. Like someone said, I don't remember who it said, but they said that black culture is culture, you know? And that everything that we kind of have, like everything the light touches, as Mufasa would say, is like somehow connected to, like, black culture, like country music. We wouldn't have country music how we know today without Delta blues from, like, the 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Yes.
You know, we wouldn't have like basketball was like a completely different looking sport before they allowed black people to play in the sport. Same with football. Same with like everything, right? Like, movies look different. Everything.
The food we eat, the way we talk.
Yeah.
It's because, like, well, whiteness is about exclusivity. Mm-hmm. And doing things and excluding yourself and limiting yourself so that you can be the best. And it's not really a good atmosphere for culture.
Yeah.
You know?
Because all we do is just steal.
All we do is steal and go, well, we're going to make it better and more refined because we're going to take other stuff out of it and be like, this is actually the way it is, you know?
Yeah.
It's, you know, and even, like, with this is, like, they're, like, obviously co-opting these bodies with their minds, but then you're like, for what?
Yeah, just for doing chores?
Yeah, they're not doing anything with them. Like, Jim Hudson's like, I need your eyes, but it's also like, yeah, you'll physically be able to see, but, like, the way Chris's eyes work is through his brain. It's not. Yeah, it's through he isn't born knowing photography. It's how his brain is. It's like that's the integral part of it. Right. And, like, he's like, oh, I didn't have the eyes, and I was like, yeah, even if you did go in there, like, he would not be a good photographer. Yeah, there's no matter what. And there's just some things that, like, just some people can do, some people can't. That's it. And then him also being like, oh, I don't care what color you were, I just want you. But I was like, yeah, okay, you don't care, but you're doing it solely to black people. You're doing it anyway. I don't see you taking white people off the street and doing it, you know. You're doing it to black people because you know that people will not. Or, like, you think, you know, that you think they have all these advantages that it's, you know, that you don't, fair. And it's not fair, and you're the, you know, rich white people, and it's like, yeah, you know. Apparently, the Jordan Peele had, like, a bigger backstory planned for the Armitage and all this, like, whole little group of people, that they apparently belong to, like, a secret society that descended from the Knights Templar. Okay. That, like, who they're associated with, like, the Holy Grail, and they've been trying to seek eternal life, and that's why they came up with this coagula procedure. Okay. Is that it was like, it's been being done for a bunch of different reasons, but, like, the sole reason is to have eternal life. Because, I mean, who's to say that after the first black body that you put your brain in, that body eventually gets old and starts to die? What's stopping you from doing it again? Right. You know? And, like, luckily, it seems like, because the only people that know how to do this are the Armitages. Yeah. So, and they're about to die. So, thank God that these people are about to die. And also, when he's like, he explains it to him, and then, like, Chris gets it, and he goes, you got it quick. He's like, that's condescension. Right there. 100%. And also, when Rod calls Rose, and she's, like, got, like, blank face. And she's crying. She's like, oh my God. She's like,
oh my God, like blank face.
White
completely.
woman tear, you know.
Ugh. And then she's like, I know you think about me, Rod. He's like, bitch, nobody's thinking about you.
It's so funny. Because she knew he was recording her, where she, you know.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah. Ugh.
So weird. It's just, and then like the way that Chris gets out of this situation is so like, it's so well thought out in terms of like how to do it. He pulls out some cotton, puts it in his ears, right? He beats up Jeremy with a bocce ball, gourds Dean with a stuffed deer head, kills Missy with a letter opener.
Yeah.
You know, and just does just all these things. Because it's like, because I read it, I was like, the thing that like wasn't obvious for me was the letter opener. And I was like, so what does that represent? And somebody said that it is a representation of how Missy uses communication to control people.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so I'm like, once again,
and he just like takes it in the hand.
Yeah,
and then
once again, you can tell that this guy had, because of his trauma, he has such crazy survival skills. You know, that he's like, I'm getting out of here, and I'm getting out of here now.
Yeah, I know. Like Dean burns it down with like the fire and the candle, but I was also like, you could. I mean, I get why. Like, he's not going to go to the police with this. No. But also, like, if he didn't burn it down, he can be like,
look at
evidence.
This. Look at this. Yeah.
Not that I think anything would happen, because if they seem well connected enough that it would go away.
Right. Right.
So it makes sense that he'd just be like, fuck it.
Yeah. And so and I think the most diabolical thing was Allison Williams eating Fruit Loops.
Oh, and then with the
drinking milk.
And then Jordan Peele was like, yeah, I was in a class, and they started talking about like, oh yeah, because she doesn't want the colors to mix, and he's like, I just thought it was creepy, but I'm gonna take your thing and said it was intentional.
Right. And when I was watching this for the first time, the whole theater started dying laughing when she was like Googling top NCAA prospects.
It's so.
That's such a wild thing. Also, Keegan-Michael Key is one of the top NCAA prospects. You can see it on the Google screen. And the whole crowd thought that was so funny. And so once again, Chris is in where his humanity and his survival skills are kind of on the fritz, because he runs into Georgina and like knocks her ass out.
And he feels bad. He feels bad for her, not the grandmother, but
no. And so he puts her in the car, and then she causes the car to
you're at my house.
Yeah. And then she's like, get him, Grandpa.
Which is kind of so, okay, that's the part where I was like, it's kind of stupid. Because, like, yeah, we know that it's Grandma and Grandpa. Yeah. Like, I get, he needed, he didn't even need to spell it out. But, like, I get why he did, so people will fully understand. But, like, it's heavily implied. Yeah. That it's Grandma and Grandpa. She doesn't need to say, get him, Grandpa.
Because it was going to be even more obvious whenever, like, he attacks him, apparently. Because in the original script, Walter was going to be like, I got you, Jesse.
Yeah.
I finally beat you, you know? But then he didn't do that. He's like, that was too over the top. And so he flashes him one last time, and he's like,
give me the gun.
Let me do it. Shoots her. Which is
himself,
weird that we saw this twice in one weekend. And then shoots himself. Yeah. All over now. And then he
goes to strangle her.
Oh yeah.
And he can't do it.
Yeah, and that little smile that Allison Williams does. Ugh.
Oh, and then you see the lights, and she's like, help me, and like the way your stomach drops.
You're like, no. And that's how it was supposed to end.
It was, and I'm glad they changed it, because like the point was made enough in the way your stomach dropped that you needed to be, you know.
And it was Rod Williams. TSA.
Motherfucking A.
Yeah. And like
handle shit. Consider this shit handled.
And he sits quietly with Chris for a long time, and he's like, I told you not to go in that house, man.
He's like, I told
you. Which is crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. And they just leave those bodies there, and I assume that whoever is supposed to go pick up Jim Hudson is going to find him and be like, oops. Fuck.
Yeah. All those people, I mean, yeah, because like now all those people are not going to be able to live. They're all just going to die.
Right.
Suck on that, racists, you know? There's a thing that I wanted to tell you. The music at the beginning, whenever we see like the thing, it is Let's see. I want to read it because this was really cool. It is in Swahili. I'm gonna butcher this, but it's the main theme. Sikiliza kwa Wahanga.
Okay.
Close enough, I'm sure. Probably not. Was sung in Swahili with the exception of the English word brother, a word which composer Michael Abels felt had a special universal meaning among black people that did not need translation. According to Abels, the voices in the song represent the souls of black slaves and lynching victims trying to warn Chris to get away. The translation of the lyrics is, brother, run, listen to the elders, listen to the truth, run away, save yourself.
Oh.
Wild.
Yeah.
Cinema. Absolute cinema. Like that's that. This movie was made with such care and such intention,
and you can tell.
Yeah, that
it's a pretty flawless film.
That like now that if I see the word produced by Jordan Peele or directed by Jordan Peele, I'm like,
it's gonna be good.
This is gonna be good. Yeah. I don't even care, you know. And so now we have like this space where it's just like anything can happen when it comes to horror. Because now we have your Hereditaries, your Midsommars, you have like The Lighthouse, Nosferatu, the Witch, you know? We have all these like really well thought out horror films where it's like it's all artistic now. Because like at one point for a long time horror was just schlocky fun, you know? And now you can walk away from horror with the feeling of, okay, I definitely just saw something that I'm going to like be wrestling with in the car on the way home. You know, that's why we got Weapons. That's why we got Barbarian, you know, like that's like something we just did recently. And it's so refreshing to see that like there's people out there that yes, they know that horror is like schlocky good fun, but you also can see the potential that horror can have given the right amount of care and love. Yeah. You know? And golly, man, this is like, how would you rate this on a scale of 1 to 10?
Bocce balls.
Bocce balls. Yep, 10. There you go. 10. Yes.
We've done a couple of 10 movies in a row now.
Yeah.
We got to get some bad movies in there.
I know.
I assume you give it a 10?
I give it a 10. Yes. Okay. God, this is amazing. The only gripe I have is the thing about the cubbyhole. Like that was it. Yeah. And that's such a small detail.
Well, you're like, it's fine.
Doesn't matter. Like, the music was good. The acting was good. The story was great. Like, and, like, it's also really funny in a lot of places, you know? And there's not a lot, like nowadays we could say a lot of horror movies do this really well. But, like, when this came out, it was like, this was a turning point.
Oh, yeah.
You know, where it was like, oh, yeah, this is a watershed moment when it comes to horror. And I just, God, man, I could just think about this movie forever. Yeah, so I think that's all we got for this one. Hope you guys like the new music. And if you haven't seen Get Out,
go watch it.
Please go watch it. Get out of where you're at and go watch it. Or, I guess, watch it in your house because it's on digital DVD now. Screw it. Go buy the DVD. Go buy the Blu-ray. It's
probably in the $5 bin at Walmart.
At this point, it probably is in the $5 bin.
I think that's where I got it.
Yeah?
I love the $5 Walmart movie bin.
Yeah, I could swim in there if it weren't probably...
It's so good.
Yeah, if it wasn't probably gross and disgusting and filled with, like, you know, the grubby hands of all kinds of people. But
yeah,
but like I love that place. One day we just need to go like
just random pull we each random pull a movie and they'd be like, this is the movies we talk about.
Yeah. Okay. When we just have nothing, like nothing's on the horizon, you know,
pull it. Yeah.
Just go do a $5 DVD pull and we could just watch it. And
that'd be fun.
We do have to watch Hocus Pocus at some point. I know that.
The correct way.
The correct way, yes. Not in the cold, dark and cold like me and Alina did, but we will.
I fussed at her about that.
Did she tell you she was going to kill you afterwards?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because she was like, well, yeah, but it's just that one. And I was like, no, but the fact that you said then you hated the movie for that experience is what made me mad. Then she called me a sexy judge. And then our boss got onto her for sexual harassment in the workplace. True story. She also said I looked like I would be the one who burned witches in Salem one day. She said, that's how you're dressed today. Then she said, another day, she said, you're giving 85-year-old librarian. But in a good way.
But in the best way I have ever, yeah.
So, I almost wish she would threaten to kill me.
At this point, yeah.
I mean, she does.
Yeah. Well, this has been the
H&H
podcast. Yep. The Hyperfix and Hate Watch podcast. Once again, I'm Jared.
I'm Kayleigh.
And don't forget, the white people could be anywhere. They could be right behind you. Bye.
Bye.